Okay, so, hey, what I want to talk to you about today is falling in love with the process. Okay, you hear this often, and you hear process in that word too often. I don't think it gets enough electricity and it needs a bunch. So let's define process real quick, okay? Process is what must be done. Process is what must be done. Okay, to achieve a goal, to complete a task, or to simply get better. What must be done to achieve a goal, to complete a task, or to simply get better. When you're trying to figure out how to fall in love with the process, so when we come up here and coaches are giving you a message, they give you a bunch of stuff that you need to do, that you gotta do, that you should do in order to be great. You gotta ask yourself 3 questions, okay? Where am I going? So where does this group want to be? A state champion. You want to be a state champion. Good. So you have to define that so that you have a vision in front of you. Okay? Where are you going? You want to go to state. Okay? Why? Because you want to be the best. Okay, good. How? That's the process. How? You can't take a step today. Okay? You can't take a step today. Today is February 21st, 2020, correct? You cannot win the state championship today. But you can fall in love with the process that it takes to get to the state championship when that shows up. If you fall in love with the process, then you'll not understand that process does not include the result. So I give you 3 things that you've got to answer. Where, why, and how. Where are you going? Why are you going there? And how are you going to get there? Yes? And the answer to none of those is the result. Process is not the result. So you can write that down. Process equals, slash it out, result. Process is falling in love with the boredom of every day. You want some reverse psychology? There it is. Process, falling in love with the process is falling in love with the boredom that it takes, that it requires in order to achieve the goal, the where, the why you're going. Falling in love with the boredom that it takes to get there every day. So we have talked multiple times about having great energy, yes? Yes. Is that enough? No, and we've talked about why. So the things that we're putting in your face add up to falling in love with the process, but you've got to fall in love with them on the everyday. Energy is required, yes. There are 2 things that you absolutely have to have, that you've got to seek, that you've got to use, that you've got to put in your tool bag in order to fall in love with the process. 1, you have to have relentless focus. Relentless focus. If you're sitting out there staring at me like a cow staring at a gate, you're missing it. Write it down. We just increased your retention by 25% if you write it down alone. Write it down. You've got to have relentless focus. You've got to have relentless focus. And in having relentless focus, it means you have to bring tremendous effort. Maniacal energy, which is what you're working on now. It's the thing that we're presenting best to this point. Maniacal energy. How do you, maniacal? M-A-N-I-A-C-A-L. M-A-N-I-A-C-A-L. Maniacal energy. Okay? When you're bringing that kind of energy, it has to have a laser focus, which means you have to eliminate emotional distractions. What does that mean?
Females.
All of that's good. Ego, yes. Females, yes. Anything that you got in your feels have got to go to the side. That's what I mean by that. You can't come in here feeling like I don't want to do this. I didn't sign up for this today. My rear end is sore. None of that can be going through your mind when you step in to have maniacal energy. You got to get rid of it. You got to eliminate emotional distractions. Eliminate them, because they don't fall into the process. They don't do anything except detract you from what it is you're trying to get to. Hence the reason you got to put where in front of you and why in front of you, which is for your team. Okay, the next thing that you have to have, and this is the last of the two, is you have to have ridiculous consistency. Ridiculous consistency.
Say it again.
Say it again with me. Ridiculous consistency. If you're going to fall in love with the boredom, think about that for a second. To fall in love with the boredom, like that's all I seek is the boredom of the everyday. Then you have to be intentional about how you get there. And you have to do it daily. We've talked about this I don't know how many times, and I've asked this question before. I wonder if we'll get it right. The one common factor in all successful people is? Nope, but it's a great word. Consistency, effort, nope. Keep coming. Details are great.
Attitude.
There's one common denominator in everybody that's successful. What?
Attitude.
Nope.
Body language.
Nope.
The
No. You want me to help you?
Attitude.
Okay, the person, the group that won the varsity locker room the first time and the group that won the varsity locker room the second time both had this same thing, because all successful people have it. Here's the deal, and I'll show you in numbers. If I put numbers up on the board, in order to add up all the points that they received, this team had this many points. Not total. What of all their points they had, attendance, booklets, teacher's input, zeros, all the points that the PM attendance, of all the points that they had, what do you think this number represented? This was the PM attendance, which we've talked about trying to be at 80%. This is only about 50%. Okay, this, what number do you think this represented? This was the booklets. You know what this one was? Teacher input. That's embarrassing. But you know what this one was? I didn't put minus in front of it. You know what this one was? What accounted for most of the points? More than half of the points total for both teams that won in the last 2 weeks? Attendance. You must be present to be successful. And I say present, not just here, because you've got to be here physically and mentally. You've got to be present. That's consistent. You've got to be here every day. There can't be an excuse. You've got to be here every day. And what's better yet is when you understand that you have fallen in love with the process, when you know you've fallen in love with the process, is that you will be deliberate, telling yourself that you get to be here every day. You don't have to be here every day. When you decide you get to be here every day, this team will be in the right track for where we want to go in terms of getting this thing. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.